like to play games. Like, even if in a relationship, like, I like to mess with their head. So I like a guy to mess with my head too.
How do you mess with guys' heads?
I'll leave him on red. Like, if I like a guy, I never even let him know. If I like a guy, like, he will literally never know. I never text guys first.
But okay, I mean, you said that you've never dated anybody in your entire life because men are just god-awful. But given what you've said, could it be you who's god-awful?
I am toxic. I've had guys tell me that. I know I'm toxic.
You're going to attract those kind of guys.
How am I going to find a guy to get in a relationship with me? I'm, like, scared. I feel like that's not going to happen.
Well, there's a lot of simps out there who will tolerate bad behavior in women, who will tolerate toxicity, because there's a lot of lonely men out there who don't get laid. And
Good men do want me, and they think they can tame me, but they can't. I ruin them.
You ruin good men?
Yes.
Why?
Wait, have you ruined a good man before?
The last guy I filmed with was a really good man, but I didn't, like, ruin him. Like, I didn't, like, do anything to him. I feel like I just broke his heart. He would tell me he has feelings for me, and I was like, oh, it's funny.
Really cannot make this stuff up, homie. You know, it's a cold game out here, man. There are men out here every day dealing and falling in the trap with these kind of women, man. Women who will never bring you peace. Women who offer you nothing. There are men out here on the daily that think this woman is going to give them something, man. You know, they're offering everything they have to these women, their money, their finances, their assets, their time, their energy, to women who do not care about them. Women who do not respect them, women that play games with them. You know how many men message me about this shit? What do I do? She keeps playing games with me. You leave. You leave and you respect yourself, man. You know, if a woman is going to constantly play games with your head, is that really your girl? Because I'm going to tell you right now, homie, man to man, your woman is supposed to bring you peace. If there is no peace involved, you are not at peace, man. There's nothing there. It's not your girl. You need to remove yourself, man. You know, I have been in situations in my life that you can resonate with, man. You know, I've been in situations where I have been with women that constantly played games with my head, man. Made me feel like I was going crazy. You know, whether it came to cheating or them disrespecting me or just constantly trying to mess with me, you know what I mean, mentally. And they can do that, and they will do that, man, just like a man would. And I'm telling you guys, like, this is why I tell you in every video, man, to pick and choose wisely, to let God guide your life, man, to let Him work. Let Him work in your life, because I'm telling you, man, this life is hard. You know, there are a lot of things that happen to us as men, and you have to be prepared for this stuff, man. You gotta be prepared for war and everything, man. Business, life, women, relationships, anything you do in this life, man, you're gonna have to struggle with, you know, and it doesn't matter who you are. That's why I made this channel, man. I'm trying to be real with you guys. I'm trying to teach you guys what you need to learn in order to be in a relationship, in order to hopefully find this thing called peace within your relationship and your marriage and the rest of your life, man. You know, there are men that every day, you know, falling in the trap and their whole lives are ruined, man. You know, men that didn't have someone to tell them these things. You know, I mean, men that are wiping up women that do OnlyFans. Men that are wiping up women that treat them like dog shit. Men that are wiping up women that, you know, they should clearly not be wiping up. You know, having children with them, man. The rest of the 18 years, they gotta pay child support. Their 401ks are gone. There are women that will completely wipe everything you have, homie. Everything you have, all for what? For what? Because you didn't want to be alone? Because you didn't want to be alone, man. You know, I have been in that place that you guys are in right now. You know if you're watching this, if you're there. You know, where you just think that, you know, you don't want to be alone and you love this person and whatnot, whatever it is, man. You know, I mean, the number one foundation of a relationship is peace, and in other words, respect. If your woman does not respect you, she is not your woman, and you wiping her up will be the dumbest choice you could ever make. Because a lot of these men think that they can change these women. Let's be real here. You probably think of the same thing. I used to think it. Oh, well, maybe just one day. You cannot change her, man. The only one in this world that can change anybody is Jesus, man. That is it. And you can pray for a woman, but that does not need to mean that you gotta stay in her life. That's what the whole point is here, man. You know, a woman that's gonna be with you for the rest of your life, she has to have something, man. You know, and that's a big decision. That's why I tell you guys, man, it's a big decision. This woman that's gonna be with you through thick and thin, because I promise you, this is not your worst day. This is not your worst year. This is not your worst anything. There are worse days coming for all of us, man. There are gonna be days that are gonna be horrible. And we're gonna have to push through those with hopefully the person that we fall in love with, the person that we marry. And there are women out here that will walk out on you like that. There are women out here, the moment you lose your job, they're gone. The moment that things go sideways, they're gone. They don't care about you and they will never respect you to the fullest amount. And that's why I tell you guys every day why to include God in your life. There's never any cases of people that start following God where their life doesn't get significantly better in some way. You know, it's like you guys got to realize that's a blueprint. God told us what to look for. You know, he told us what kind of women to approach, what kind of women to stay away from. You know, nagging women, for example, right, are women that are godly, that we're supposed to be with, right? And women that are going to appreciate you and nurture you and care about you and respect you. You know, it's like, you gotta find that, man. You gotta find a woman who's gonna be all about you. And I think the biggest problem I had in my life was chasing women that, you know, they were not adding value to my life, man. You know, they were pretty. Or, you know, I fell in love with the idea of them in my head, you know, where I love her. You know, it's like, what exactly do you love? And that's something I really want you guys to think about, you know, throughout this video that you're watching right now. You know, what do you love so much about this person that you fell in love with, right? And, you know, a lot of us can make a lot of excuses for why we love them, but there's no real one, you know? And, like, that's the thing is, like, what does this woman actually do for your life that benefits you? Because a lot of men will sit in this place of devastation and destruction and, you know, it just, everything but peace. You know, and they'll wonder what's going on? Why am I so sad? Why, homie, you're not with the right person. You know, the right woman's gonna uplift you. She's gonna bring peace to your life and value to your life. You're gonna notice that you're gonna wanna work harder. You're gonna wanna go tenfold for the woman you love. You're gonna wanna be able to provide for her, right? And a lot of men are out here doing the exact opposite. They don't wanna do anything. They become lazy. They go down a destructive path, you know, and everything's hard, everything sucks, and depression and anxiety. And that's why I tell you guys to invite Jesus into your life. You know, it's a matter of just inviting him. I'm gonna sit here, I wanna be 100% real with anyone watching this video today, homie. You know, just because you follow God does not mean everything's gonna be 100%. Does not mean that everything's gonna be accurate and 100% the way you think it's gonna go, because there are still gonna be trials thrown your way. There are still gonna be tribulations thrown your way. Homie, I'm going through them right now in my own life, you know, what I'm doing personally. You know, and like, I've been doing this for a long time, you know, and God is just with you through the storms. He's with you through those hard times, because if we didn't have those, how are we going to prove our faith, man? You know, how are we going to prove that we are faithful to God if we're not willing to, you know, push past those difficult times of our lives? You know, it's easy to throw in that towel and be like, oh, you know, I'm done. You know what I mean? And you can be done, but you can still love God. You know, I mean, you can still be faithful towards towards God, and we just realize that everything happening in your life is happening for some type of reason. You know, and that our pain has a purpose. Our pain has a meaning. You know, iron sharpens iron. You got to go through the thick, and eventually you'll get there, man. You'll go through the destructive path, and you'll come out on the other side. Everything will be great, you know, and like, you're going to have to build upon that, because that will eventually fall too. You know, we go through phases here. Some phases are awesome, some phases are not so great, you know, and that's why I tell you guys to just, you know, to never lose Jesus, man. Never. No matter what you're going through in any circumstance, never lose God. Never. You know what I mean? Keep him near you at all times, man, because I've seen the best of men fall. You know, I've seen the strongest men fall. And when they fall, it's not pretty, man. You know, and a lot of them fall due to women that completely destroy their lives. And that's why I said to always have God on your side, man. And other than that, really to just pick and choose wisely, man. You know, like, understand how to recognize red flags. And unfortunately, no matter how much it hurts, being able to walk away from those red flags. You know, hey, you know what? I tried. I gave everything I had. And this woman will just not respect me. You know, this woman does not respect me. She doesn't care about me, so I need to remove myself in order to better myself. You need to, homie. You know, and if a woman's gonna make you better and she's gonna work with you, then keep her around, man. You know, keep her around and keep doing what you're doing. Stop procrastinating. I'm gonna start making more self-improvement videos, you know, on how to better ourselves, right? Because a lot of us men, we like to procrastinate. We get stuck in these destructive paths, right? Where sin is everywhere and things are just difficult. And even me, bro, I've been on this path the past week where it's just like, oh my gosh, like everything around me is going crazy. And I'm sitting here just realizing that, you know, my God is better than that. My God is better than my problems. And sometimes it takes for me doing a video for me to really even be able to say this to myself. You know, where it's like, my God is greater than that. You know, he's greater than whatever you're going through. He's bigger than your problems. You know, and it's so beautiful. That's so beautiful about faith, man. It's just knowing that our God is bigger than our problems. He's bigger than the issues going on in our lives. You know, whether it comes to women or business or life or family, whatever it might be for you. Because I know we're all going through something, man. You know, I mean, just know that it's all on you. You have to make the right choices. You have to make the right decisions. You gotta stay away from the world and stay close to God. You know what I mean? And improve yourself daily. Even if it's by 1%, homie, 0.5%. Just improve. That's all you gotta do is focus on how can I improve myself. Some days are gonna be harder than others. Some days are gonna be better than other ones. Stay strong, stay focused, stay on your mission, stay on your grind, and stay with God. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to smash that like button. Please make sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on this content. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out.